Human population has reached 3 billion people only just recently, in the 1960s. That means within the last 100 years, we have finally reached 3 billion people on Earth. That's the same amount of people that we have currently active on social media. 2.7 billion people are active on social media. That includes you and me, and we're creating a lot of data on a daily basis that is processed and stored by big data companies. Do you know what these big data companies are doing with your data? I'm a cybersecurity student here at St. Petersburg College, and I've been working in IT for 5 years. I've been really interested in artificial intelligence ever since I understood the impact that it can have on the human development. Today I'm going to tell you about the current implementations of artificial intelligence, that is how we use it today, the visions we have for the future, what we could do in the future with this technology, and also what dangers there are, what we need to be aware of. I have a friend that lives in Wisconsin, and his name is Grant. He works at an implement store. I don't know if you're aware what that is. I wasn't. I searched on Google recently what an implement store was, and it told me that it was a store that sold tractors and farm equipment. Now, for the next couple of weeks, I had ads upon ads telling me to buy tractor equipment and farm equipment. Do I look like a farmer? Now, if this has happened to you and had this experience previously, it's because your information has been sold. Everything you do online, from where you click on which ads, how long you spend interfacing with ads or different social media posts, what you post online, all that is analyzed and looked at and sold to the biggest bidder so they can advertise to you as a demographic. This is one aspect that we're using nowadays here in America. Now, across the ocean in China, they're actually using this similar technology, artificial intelligence, to be able to track people who are breaking the law. I'm going to go ahead and play a video for you of this new technology they have to stop jaywalkers. In China, once the jaywalkers are found and see that there's a red light and that they cross the street with a red light indicating that they have broken the law, then they are taken a picture and their faces are scanned and matched against an algorithm and matched against a database that they have. And if it's a person who has done something like this similarly in the past, then they will be shown online and their partial names and IDs will be shown. And also they'll have a fine sent to them through their text message. Go ahead and pause that video for me. This is stuff that we have going on today. This is not things we have to think about too far in the future. But we do have some visions for the future. The World Health Organization tells us that 1.25 million people get in their cars every day and don't make it to their destination. Unfortunately, they were involved in a fatal car accident. This is every year. In the United States, we have 37,000 fatalities and an additional 2.35 million people injured every year. The National Highway for Traffic Safety Administration tells us that of those accidents, 94% of them were due to human error. 94% of those 37,000 people that perished could have been saved if they were aware of what they were doing, if they were in control of their vehicles. Artificial intelligence has multiple systems that can help us with this. It has a driver assisting system where it watches the driver to make sure that they're awake, that they're not inebriated, that they're paying attention to the road, that they're not changing lanes where they shouldn't be. This system can stop the vehicle or can alert the driver, sound an alarm, if the driver is not aware. There's also self-driving cars that completely eliminate the driver from the equation. So you drive from point A to point B without needing to have the driver interact with the system at all. We also have been seeing improved diagnoses in the medical field with machine learning and deep learning, which is where we feed images to artificial intelligence algorithms, and they learn to differentiate and see the features in these images. They're able to learn and diagnose humans from medical imaging, such as MRI, X-ray, CAT scans, you name it. With this technology, the Birmingham hospital system completed a new study, and they found that when compared to doctors, AI was able to diagnose patients correctly 87% of the time, compared to healthcare professionals that were only able to diagnose 86% of the time. And when given an all-clear messages, doctors were able to give a diagnosis 91% of the time, where AI was able to give a better diagnosis 93% of the time. That's a noticeable difference. These are advances that we're seeing in technology. This technology can help us reach areas that have poor development, that don't have access to healthcare, or can help us get through the backlog of imaging that doctors can't look at, or can even give us our doctors our second opinion if they're not sure of what they're seeing. These are all good things that we're seeing, but there's also a flip side to every technology. There's a danger. There's something that we should be looking at and being worried about. In this case, I want to talk about a new technology you guys may have been seeing. Many of you probably have walked into a McDonald's and gone to order, and there's a machine you order now. There's not a cashier, there's a machine that you go to. This is something that you see not just in McDonald's, but in many other places. Their systems are being automated. They're cashiers. Walmart, a lot of times you walk in, you purchase something, and you just go and purchase it and pay for it on your own. The National Bureau for Labor Statistics tells us there are 3.4 million cashiers in the United States right now. Guys, we're not talking about job losses in the future. We're talking about job losses that are happening right now with artificial intelligence due to the advances we're seeing. These are some of the dangers and some of the things we're going to have to address as we move forward. Another area where we might have job losses is truckers. As we spoke previously, AI can make driving much safer. Right now, due to federal legislation, drivers can only drive 11 hours a day. AI can drive 24 hours a day and get the load there almost 3 times faster. Now, there is another danger, and I've been trying to keep this within the realm of what we normally consider every day. But I would want to play you a news feed from 2 years ago, in 2018, that highlights one of the uses of AI that's not the greatest. Go ahead and play the video.
Weeks after Russian President Vladimir Putin all but declared victory in Syria, Russia's main military base in Syria was attacked last weekend by a mysterious swarm of drones. Charlie Daggett looked into this.
Until now, rebel groups in Syria have used remote-controlled drones like the ones in these propaganda videos to drop bombs on targets. So now, picture 10 drones, all together, all weaponized, and all headed to the same target. The Russian Defense Ministry said it suffered the first mass attack by drones guided by a GPS system at its base in northwestern Syria. Another 3 targeted its naval base at Tartus. 7 drones were shot down. The remaining ones were electronically jammed and forced to land. Neither base suffered any casualties. The Russians released these pictures today showing what they recovered. Attack drones, partly made of wood and held together with masking tape. A deadly mix of low and high tech, according to former British Army weapons expert Pete Norton.
This particular attack is the number of drones involved against a single target and the fact that they've been launched on what appears to be a completely autonomous mission.
These drones can carry up to as many as 10 bombs each and have a longer range, more than 60 miles. The Russians claim that only countries with high-tech capabilities could have supplied the...
Like the spokesperson was saying, they say that only a country with high-tech capability could have supplied them. And the military complex is very secretive and they don't tell us much information. But just this year in May, China had an exposition showing what they could do with their drone technology. I want you to take a look at the next video that I'm going to play, but imagine that these drones, instead of being just colorful lights, are armed with weaponry. very sophisticated technology. If we were to have some sort of conflict, this technology could pose a great danger to civilians, especially with facial recognition technology. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to inform you and let you know that this technology is out there. And right now, information technology and artificial intelligence is moving faster than legislation. It's moving faster than the public discussion. We need to talk about this in public and decide what we're going to do to make sure we address these problems in the future. Do you have any questions?